Sweet Bippy.
I'm talking about Lutheranism.
To go inside.
What the f is that? Is that tuna?
I'm the delicate little flower.
It's official, y'all. I'm the judge.
Moral of the story: don't suck at basketball.
What's going on, RNO Squad? Welcome back to another episode of This Week In. Now, as you know, this is the second episode of the series. Normally it's from me and Kyler, but Kyler has schoolwork, so you're stuck with me. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell, hit all the buttons, feed the algorithm. Let's jump into this because it is currently 10:15 in time of filming, and your boy will be up editing this tonight. So don't forget to leave the like, leave some love. Let's get into it. First story up this week in sports. Chucky, aka the NFL's weird racist uncle, has been fired from the Raiders, he resigned as head coach of the Raiders. For those of you guys who don't know, he was exposed to have some racist comments in 2011. He made some really bad jokes, really racist, offensive jokes, and apparently in a investigation done by the NFL, it was discovered that he had almost a decade of making offensive jokes and offensive comments towards every group known to man. Misogynistic jokes, racist jokes. He called the commissioner of the NFL apparently a homophobic slur. Again, I didn't read it yet, but just from what I have read, dear God, he deserves to be fired. I mean, anyone, if it's one incident, sure. Like I said, I really wish Kyler was here to give his perspective on it, but he has school and schools are priority. If it's one incident, sure, maybe don't fire him. Like the James Gunn thing, the Kevin Hart thing, I think was really messed up. But 10 years, that's, especially when you got signed to a 10-year contract, I can see why the team would fire you. Yeah, it's not a good look for them. It's just the right decision for them in the league, especially with what they're trying to do with unity and all that stuff. It's tough. You gotta be careful what you post on the internet. It can come back to bite you in the ass. There's countless examples of it. I am now worried that somehow down the line, even if this never works out, whatever career I end up doing, I'm so worried that something will come out and just ruin me. Nowadays, everybody wants to be a social warrior, and that means that they have to target anyone that has a slight vulnerable chink in their armor. Kyler was showing me an example today of NFL quarterback Josh Allen. He plays for the Buffalo Bills, a really big guy, superstar, emerging star. Some of his old tweets that Kyler showed me, if they are real, I feel like that's something that he can very much be counseled for if the people decide that he's guilty, even though they also complain when the courts just decide someone's guilty or not guilty. Being from Vegas, I feel like I have to have some kind of interest in them, but not really, because I don't really care for them. I care more for these guys who are undefeated. At time of recording this, we will remain undefeated, hopefully, for at least the next 2 years, or next 2 weeks, 2 years. The one thing I will say where it's I guess controversial is I think there are certain lines that are okay with approaching, not necessarily crossing, but approaching. I think it's stupid to believe that, to think that none of us have said something that we regret saying, and boys in the party chats in their game systems and whatever game system they play know what I'm talking about. We say some stuff that's if it ever saw the light of day, GGs, we're done. These guys are big time superstars and getting paid multi-million-dollar contracts to be professional both on the field and off the field. So, and if you put your team in a position like that, you kind of leave them no choice but to kind of get rid of you. Yeah, leave you guys a comment down below. Let's debate this. Let's spread this out. Let's try to curious see who falls on what side. There's definitely, I can see an argument for both sides. I'm obviously leaning towards it was the right move to fire him, just from a PR perspective alone. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Our second set of stories actually this week in comic book news. As you guys know, or may not know from this channel, I am a huge comic book nerd, or just nerd in general. That's the tattoo of the wand here, proves it. I get 0 women. 2 main stories come out of this week in comic books that I'm supposed to want to talk about. First one, Jonathan Kent, aka the current Superman in the comics, has come out as bisexual, confirmed by DC. I think released ahead of National Coming Out Day. I don't really care if he's gay or straight or whatever. It's a comic book character. It doesn't really offend me. But the big debate going around with this is how it would affect young kids reading this stuff and whether we should be putting these kind of ideas and messages in kids literature and TV and all that. But I think people are missing the point here. No 5-year-old is reading Superman comics. This is mostly a preteen /teen/adult demographic. And this is even tame considering to the stuff they've seen. Like even the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy comic that's going on right now, there is an explicit sex scene, a lesbian sex scene, and no one seems to be up in arms about that. Let that be what that be on the internet, how people view sexuality here. I think it's an important thing for them to do. They recently made Tim Drake, which is the Robin, also bisexual. People were talking about maybe being them being a couple. I think that's just unnecessary. Just let them be their own thing and build off of that. I think it's good to have a major superhero right now be LGBTQ, just for a representation standpoint. I know I wish there was more Latino superheroes out there, like big ones, like just small ones. But there's nothing big like on tier with like Batman, Superman, whatever. So I think it's just a matter of time. It's more progressive now. People are more accepting of that stuff. And you know, if you see it, if it translates well in comics, you can translate it to movies, and you know, makes kids feel more better about themselves, and you know, all that fun movie stuff. I think it's the right move to do it on National Coming Out Day. I think if you did it some other day, it would just get swept under the rug of, you know, all this other major stuff that comes out. Like this was probably overtaken by the NFL because the NFL is way bigger than comic books. But when you do it with the intention of like, let's promote this with the National Coming Out Day, I think it does both movements. I think they help each other out. It brings attention to comic books, which are severely underselling, and it brings more attention to the, you know, just LGBTQ movement. Be whoever you are. Be happy and celebrate the moments when you get representation on screen. But also, we have to respect that some people don't agree with it, and that is perfectly fine. There is no need to hate on each other just because you view things differently. Let's just be civil and have a conversation about it. And that's why they make these decisions, guys, is to get us to read their stuff. Publicity is always good, so just keep in mind you're just doing what they want to do. Also, comic book news, quick little side story to that one. They have cast Will, I don't know how to say his name, Poulter, as Adam Warlock for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The dude with the killer eyebrows who somehow managed to make out with both Jennifer Aniston and Emma Roberts back and forth in succession is now going to be the main villain in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So let that be a lesson to you guys. Looks do not mean shit in the Hollywood industry. As long as you got spit game and you're a good actor, you will get some kick-ass roles, kick-ass opportunities. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. He doesn't really seem like the Adam Warlock guy. He's very skinny. I'm sure he can bulk up, but it's like, I don't know. People are throwing around Zac Efron. I think that'd be a much better choice. That Will dude is very good at playing like anti-hero / villainous roles. He was very good in Death Cure and the Maze Runner series. So he's very good at comedy, which is what the MCU is. James Gunn's making this, so you know it's gonna be very highbrow. Like, I'll have to wait and see. So you know, I think it just comes down when it comes down to casting in comic book movies, you just gotta wait till the final product. Okay, last story here. This week in random Netflix / weird stuff news, Abu Dhabi is making their own live version of the Squid Games. It was only a matter of time. This thing's blown up. It's Netflix's #1 show. It is highly hyped. People are waiting for season 2, even though there's not a confirmed season 2 yet. Netflix wants to make a video game out of it. It's crazy. They are going to make a live action version of this games. Obviously no blood or killing, but there is no cash prize, there's nothing. It's just literally playing this for the hype of playing the game. And I still think a lot of people are going to sign up for this. I think we're going to go through all that effort. You should put a cash prize to like make it even more, you know, hyped. I think Netflix is really establishing themselves as a trendsetter. And it makes you wonder like how your friend group would react if you were in Squid Games. Especially with everything that happened in that show and all the betrayals and friendships established and all the twists and turns and the emotional moments of it. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting concept to me to think that we're so fascinated with TV shows that we jump at the opportunity to make them real. Especially one that was so twisted and like messed up. But that's it, man. That's nothing really major this week. Hope you guys having a good week so far. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week, and we will see you guys in the next one.